Alright, we're back at it again on these parking brakes. We got to adjust them. And I think this may have been a primary issue I had in the first place. I mean, you know, the pads were all greased up because I had that seal leak, and that's one thing. But I got the new brake pads and all put on, and my brakes still won't set hard. It'll set in just enough that, like, if the truck was in neutral, you can't move it. But if you, excuse me, if I put it in drive, it'll over torque and pull itself along even with the brake set. So anyway, I'm just going to show you all how to do this on the brakes themselves. It's kind of a pain because you have to pull all your brake calipers off, pull your rotor off, which your rotor is going to ride, you know, right here on your brake pads, and you want your brake pads just not quite touching it, you know. But you have to pull the rotor off, and then reach in here, and let me get the light on it for you so you can see, hopefully. There's that little gear tooth looking piece right there, and that's your slack adjuster in your brakes. And so you have to reach up in there. I had to reach up in there with a screwdriver and push those sprockets on that gear and just turn it, you know, move it about, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch, whatever. And as you do, it presses your brake pads in or out as needed, or your brake shoes. But then you have to grab your rotor and try to fit it back on. And so if you haven't gone enough, of course your rotor's going to slide on real easy and feel a little sloppy. If you've gone too much, then you just can't put your rotor on. So it's kind of a back and forth game to get it dialed in. I think I've got it this time. It took me, I had to pull it off. I could see visually there was a big gap, so that obviously was not enough. Went too far with it, couldn't get the rotor on, backed off about, I don't know, maybe 1 or 2, 1.5 full turns. I really didn't count how many turns I made. But you don't make full turns. You know, you turn, when you push that sprocket or push that little tooth, you turn it maybe a quarter turn. So just did that a couple times. Brakes slid on just fine. It felt like it was just dragging on the pads as it slid on, the rotor, I mean. So I think that's about right. So I've got this side, I'm going to get it put back together, get the brakes bled, go to the other side real quick, and then hopefully my brake will finally set like it's supposed to.